Call the meeting to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty. Next on the agenda is the approval of the regular session June 27th. David, Jerry, thank you. Is there any discussions or errors? Anybody saw anything that needed changed? No? All in favor? Director Gaines is absent today and JB has her proxy. Forgot to say that. Work session, July 18th meeting. Jeff? Jeff JB? Is there anything in there that it did need to change? All in favor? Here. All right. We went into an executive session on July 9th. The board voted 8-0 in favor of amending Mr. Judson's executive employment contract agreement. Director Fosdick was absent from the meeting and did not submit a proxy. Director Coughlin was also absent and gave her proxy to Director Lukacs. Joint advisory reports, Tom.
For the Rec Committee, current business, Corey Sprell and Larry Lepardo were unanimously nominated to the committee, which also requires board approval, which we've taken care of today. Myself, Mr. Judson, provided an update regarding the gun range. We encourage property owners to watch that presentation. Joan Globzinski provided an update regarding trail usage. Year to date is 193,000 uses. New business, Robert Williams unanimously voted in as the chair. Keith McCluskey was voted in as vice chair, and they decided to table the secretary since they didn't have any volunteers. And they briefly discussed the budget recommendations that are due in August. For amenity reports, all amenities were in good conditions with the following comments. Metfield, the basketball hoop on the south side of the court has been damaged. Kingsdale, 32 participants in the July 4th tennis mixer, a very successful event. The cracks on court 1, 7, and 8 are getting worse. Lake Ann Park large fishing dock has 4 boards missing or damaged. Tanya Creek Nature Trail volunteers completed their spring projects. Staff reports, Rick Eccles June Ranger contacts consisted of 10,000 contacts, which is a record. The prior record was 8,000. John Urquhart Trap and Skeet suffered lightning damage. All repairs have been made. Joan Globzinski, the Bluebirds will be renaming Trailhouse Park. Bluebird Trail will be renamed Trailhouse Park. Ozzy the Turtle. Treehouse. How am I doing? It's a T word. Ozzy the Turtle has been added, sculpture there. And Jessica Anson reviewed all summer youth and family events. Very successful, very well received, and record attendance. Lakes. Matt Champagne was elected chair. Michael Coughlin was elected vice chair, and Carol Phillips secretary. The committee welcomed Jeff Rattay as a new member. They briefly discussed budget proposals for the 25 budget. Rick Eccles and staff continue to work on plans to reestablish aquatic vegetation in our lakes and eliminate the excessive grass carp. All are encouraged to read the latest POA spring update to understand what we are doing to improve the quality of our lakes and fishing, and to understand why we do and recommend the things we do. Very informative in terms of species profiles on largemouth bass, summer vegetation, fishing opportunities and harvesting recommendation, aquaculture news, and lake safety etiquette. Many thanks to our lake rangers for making July 4th a safe holiday.
Thank you, Tom. Ruth, you got golf?
Golf match on Wednesday, July 10th. First of all, I invite everybody to watch the video. There's some interesting information regarding the Tanyard Creek, as well as things going on the golf courses themselves, grass, etc. Election of officers, Ruth Hatcher will be chair next year, Dave Armstrong vice chair, and Gary Mertz will be the new secretary. Maintenance from Graham Cornmark. The tees and collars were once again aerated in completion on all courses. Scottsdale and Brittany greens were core aerated, and they will be done again in August. It takes a couple times to get them going good. First round of Bermuda sod work was completed in June. 3.4 acres of Bermuda and zoysia grass has been sodded to replace areas of winter kill in all courses so far. We are scheduled to begin laying 1.5 acres of new sod next week to replace the rest of it as much as we can. Zoysia grass and sprig trials were underway at the Highlands. So far good. Hole number 1 fairway was sodded, and it's growing in very well, and people are allowed back on it. And the zoysia grass is being sprigged on number 18. Golf rounds. The June golf rounds were 26,222, down 133 over last year. As we recall, it was a very, very hot month. Pro shops ended the month of June 11.5%, 115% over budget. This year's year-to-date rounds ended 96,507, up 3,304 over last year. Member rounds ended 61,106, up 1,709 over last year, and guest rounds ended 35,401. As you can see, it's almost 2-to-1 members versus guest rounds, up over 1,595. Tournaments going strong, very good month for tournaments. Junior camp in June was a success. 40 juniors attended. July camp is full for juniors. All in the Family event will be held at Kingswood July 27th. I think that's Saturday, and it's almost capacity. Parent-child will be at Brittany 9-hole course in August. Men's Championship Club will be held August 9th, 17th, and 18th at the Country Club. Op 36 is going full force. It's a very good program, and it's going well. Old business, we had 7 applications for 1 position on the committee, open position. Clay Merritt's name was turned into the board for approval tonight. Winter cart path rules were discussed. It was consensus of the committee the golf operations should send out a survey of golf members of their direct input. And that will be written up and work on to come up with some questions as to get information as to how to better go through the winter months. The second item was regarding the budget, and the budget items were brainstormed only. We'll take those up at the next meeting. There were several that came up. One of them happened to be the releveling of tee boxes. Another one was putting trees where they were taken down. And the final one was talked about in great detail, improving the fairways and tees with better turf and getting the equipment necessary to do so. That seems to be the #1 complaint of most golfers. We felt that was a highlight that needed to be addressed. The next golf meeting will be Wednesday, August 14th. Questions?
Thank you, Ruth.
You bet.
Hello. Looking at the June. I think I'm looking at the June. There we go. All right. June financial overview. As always, the financial reports included in the presentation will be posted to the website. The pools opened late May, and summer was going strong in June, so we thought we'd highlight some of that. But starting with the consolidated overview for just the month of June, revenue was $3.8 million, which was nearly $200,000 better than budget, and it was also better than prior year. Actual operating expenses were $2,673,000, which was more than budget, another $200,000, just like revenue, but quite a bit less than prior year, almost $300,000. For the month of June, EBITDA was $618,000 overall, which was just barely under budget, and about $400,000 better than prior year. Looking at year-to-date, revenues $19,773,000, which is $900,000 better than budget, and quite a bit better than prior year. Operating expenses $14,731,000, which was better than budget by about $500,000 and more than prior year. EBITDA for year-to-date consolidated overall is $2.5 million, which is $1.4 million better than budgeted, and $350,000 better than prior year. Looking at POA only, year-to-date revenues $14,077,000, beating budget by about $600,000 and also beating prior year. Cost of goods sold is $1,021,000, which was just slightly worse than budget, but better than prior year. And operating expenses were $12,274,000, which was $500,000 better than, better than budget, and worse than prior year. And EBITDA for the POA year to date is $682,000, which is over $1 million better than budgeted and better than prior year. And looking at the POA revenue, only drilling down for just the month of June, the actual is $2,744,000, budget is $2,619,000, and prior year $2,621,000, so we beat both budget and prior year. Notable variances better in budget was the member transfer fees, resale of lots, assessments, investment income, golf pro shop sales, recreation class fees were all better. Worse than budget in June was golf fees. It was $33,000 worse than budget, but Burksdale was closed during quite a bit of June for repairs. Looking at the POA operating expenses for June, they were $2,269,000, which were $157,000 worse than budget for the month. This is largely due to the course repairs caused by the excessive winter kill. If you skip down there to worse than budget, you'll see that. Maintenance and repair ground sod is $100,000 worse than budget for the month. Maintenance and repair grounds, $32,000 worse than budget. Chemicals and fertilizer, $30,000 worse, and outside contracts, $27,000 worse. Overall, POA operating expenses are still $524,000 better than budget year to date, however. Salaries and wages and credit card interest continues to be better than budget. So since we're highlighting swimming and Olympics is getting ready to start, we thought we'd have some fun and have a little race and see how everybody's doing, who's reaching their year budgeted revenue faster. So pink is recreation, green is golf, yellow is F&B, purple is water. Who do you think's gonna win? Recreation won. They've recognized 56% of their revenue for the year. Golf has recognized 53% of theirs for the year. F&B 44%, and water 49%. Continuing with highlighting recreation, these charts highlight the usage, the number of people visiting. Using the facilities on the indoor swimming pools on the left, you'll see the gold is 2023 and the green is 2024. Notable is an increase of 12% over Q2 23 in indoor pool usage. Similarly, on the fitness center exercise classes with the opening of BVRC and also additional classes always being added, the fitness usage has gone up with a notable increase of 25% compared to last Q2. Switching to water, revenue was $5.7 million, which was $293,000 better than budget, $406,000 better than prior year. Cost of water was $1,424,000. This is year to date, which is $511,000 better than budget and $2,000 worse than prior year. Expenses, $2,457,000, which was $34,000 worse than budget and $253,000 more than prior year. And EBITDA is $1.8 million, which is $310,000 better than budget and $150,000 better than prior year. Drilling down to revenue for the month for just water, $1,072,000, which is better than budget and prior year. Not many significant variances there. Water sales is better. New service connection capital fees slightly worse for the month. And looking at water's operating expenses for the month of June, $405,000. And better was water distribution equipment, maintenance and repairs. Worse was meter installation materials. And that was $65,000 worse in June, but Charlie tells me that's a timing. He ordered those materials, they came in faster than he thought. We've got invoiced faster. He's confident by the end of the year, all that timing issue is gonna work out. Credit card charges and interest was worse than budget as well. So moving to cash, we have just under $7 million overall. In water unreserved, we have $2,317,000. Water reserved, we have $1,031,000. POA unreserved, $2,547,000, and POA reserved is $1,059,000. And moving to the one pager, to the left is the departmental variances year to date to budget. Everything looking good. Food and beverage, golf operations, and central admin are the ones worse than budget year to date so far. Moving to the right, again, EBITDA for the POA without the water is $1,084,000 year to date. And looking at our debt balances, the intercompany loan remains at $3,435,000, and our loans total with regions for the BVRC and Tanyard is $4,059,552. And we've already discussed cash, so I think that wraps it up. Does anybody have any questions? All right.
I think the fun part of your job is figuring out how you're going to present this to us, right?
The blue button. That. There you go.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Nobody here to speak, no emails? Okay. Capital project requests, Tom?
So we have one waiver request that we are requesting from the board. And let me try and find where that is located. There we go. So the project came in at $37,076.63. The original budgeted amount was $32,000. This was the addition of the storage unit so that we could hold additional kegs out there. And also the replacement of the old concrete benches and so forth. And so it came in over the 10% threshold, which is detailed in our governing documents. It came in over by $5,076.63, so we are requesting a waiver from the board.
Thank you.
I move that we approve the waiver of $5,076.63 for the Gear Garden upgrade project.
Jeff, David, thank you. Any discussion on that? Nope. All in favor? Two. Okay.
Next up, we have two recommendations for the Recreation Committee, and I will probably destroy these people's last name. I do apologize. The first one is a recommendation to approve the nomination of Larry Lepardo.
Second. Oh, I make a motion. For the nomination for Larry.
I'll second that one.
Deborah, thank you. Any discussion on that?
Yeah, I'll just comment that
Okay.
I've met Larry on 3 or 4 occasions. The first time I met him was at a Rotary meeting. Relatively new to the community, but very involved already. An active user of our amenities, especially the recreation centers. So I think he'll be able to offer some valuable insight and be a good addition to the committee.
Cool. Thanks, Deborah. Anything else? All in favor? And the next one, I'll let you butcher the name.
Spruill. He said spruill like drool.
Spruill like drool.
Yeah. Would you like to make the motion since you know how to say his name?
I move to affirm the nomination of Corey Spruill to the Recreation Committee.
Thanks, Jeff. JB. Any discussion about Corey?
I guess because I was on the rec committee for so long, I also spoke with Corey only a couple times. He's new to the community, been here only 2 years. But he has a really strong background, a really good outgoing personality, really wants to get involved and was involved as a volunteer where he lived previously. So I think he also would be a good addition.
Awesome. Thanks, Deborah. All in favor? Alrighty. Then we have,
A golf committee recommendation for Clay Merritt.
I'll make a motion affirming the nomination of Clay Merritt to the golf committee.
Second.
Jared, Jeff. Any discussion on Mr. Clay?
Yeah,
No.
I have a comment.
Okay.
I've observed that we have a lot of lady golfers, women who golf, and nothing against Clay Merritt. I'm hoping that the next time there's an opening on the golf committee, that the members of that JAC will make a determined effort to recruit one of the women golfers in our community to serve. I think we need a little better balance on that JAC, and I'm sure they can find some good candidates. I know they're out there. So that's all I gotta say.
Thanks, David. Anything else on Clay?
Can I address that?
Yes, ma'am, you sure can.
We had 7 applicants, 6 of them guys and 1 woman applied. They were very strong applicants. I personally contacted between 18 and 20 women who are strong golfers in the community and got no positive response wanting to be part of the golf committee or be in quote unquote, in their viewpoint, politics. And so that was the situation, and we had some very strong candidates, and we put it to a vote.
Yeah, like I said, it's nothing against Clay. It's just that, I would like the lady golfers to understand that they're welcome, and I know they're out there, and it's not that onerous a job to have. So hopefully we can get a little better representation in the coming years.
Okay. All in favor of Clay for the JAC, golf JAC? Unanimous. Anything else, Tom, other than announcements?
Nothing else. A very quick meeting tonight.
Yes. All right, the announcements, the next board of directors GM meeting, the closed meeting is August 8th at 2:30 here in the boardroom. The Recreation JC meeting is Monday, August 12th at 4 p.m. here in the boardroom. Lakes JAC is Wednesday, August 14th at 2 o'clock in the boardroom. Ruth's next golf meeting is Wednesday, August 14th at 4 here in the boardroom. Board of Directors work session is Thursday, August 15th at 9 a.m. here in the boardroom. The first community tour of Tanyard Creek Practice Center. That's exciting, very exciting. August 20th at 4 p.m., held at, obviously, Tanyard Creek. And then the next Board of Director regular session is August 22nd at 6 here in the boardroom. Anybody have anything else? So moved.